Snap! I wasn't singing.
3,
We
2,
barely
1.
can see me. We're squeezing.
Quit.
Can we
That
do a
was
little
good.
bit more?
My leg is.
We're live.
You're gonna have to get in between that leg, boy.
Just gonna.
Yeah, the leg
has a bit of a
Straddle it.
All right. Howdy, y'all.
All right, wait. Sound check.
Oh yeah. It might even be a little loud.
Stood up, didn't expect the chair to hit the wall. I was like, oh.
I bet you're wondering why I've gathered you here.
Yes.
Thanks ever showing up.
You don't wake up.
This is why.
Ah, beautiful.
Ah, yes.
So,
End of November.
Yeah.
I dream to go and chop.
thanks
No, I was
for
just talking about your
coming, guys. It just realized this camera's on an angle, but I'm not willing to do anything.
It's okay.
Both
Professionals
cameras are on an
professionals
angle.
do it on
Yeah.
the fly, baby. Professionals,
Professionals
do
do
it
it
on the fly.
live.
Oh my god, the world!
The world. So,
Do we have 2 mics again?
yes.
Dude, let's go.
This is how you make infinite money in RuneScape.
Yeah.
Well, TED Talk.
Yeah, I guess we'll just start back off. I mean, the game went well. I think I felt
It was a game.
fairly okay. Yeah, it was a solid one. A lot of combat, obviously. There was just a lot going on. Yeah, and I guess we'll just start. Who did I start with last time? Start with Hayden. So we'll just go around. Standard.
Then
procedure.
what was the point of asking if we're just doing this
I
anyway?
just wanted to make sure.
Because you put your hand up and then maybe you get picked. Okay? It's luck of the draw, buddy.
Yeah, so...
Sounds like you didn't win.
Yeah, so for a plus... Yeah, I liked having the extra little bit of combat last game, Combat class. Combat. Would have been better if I managed to roll anything, above a 10 for combat, but
you didn't
that's
just Mr. Magoo your way through
but-
the rest of the fucking game.
but it's like
Clonked.
Get
chomped by the dog.
yeah, like fucking that's just the way it rolls sometimes though. I thought it was fun to, especially what, your dad or something or that.
Keep going.
Yes, it's okay.
No,
setting
now
up
I'm
my-
invested.
I'm just setting up the satellite to the mothership.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Especially when we were in the camp, I liked the kind of dynamic there was where it got ambushed and then there was more coming later and getting that couple of rounds to kind of set up for that.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. And apparently you didn't know I was a crossbowman.
I only learned that later. I mean,
Apparently.
wake up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, wake up. You always make a point to mention your big stick and your big, orc weapon with the skull on the top, and then it's like, oh yeah, I'm a crossbow guy.
Oh yeah, and then every combat I pull out my crossbow, load it, and I use it until someone gets too close.
Wake up, DM.
I genuinely just thought that you were just being a smart character and having two different options for a weapon. I didn't realize that you were going into
Same.
crossbow. Okay, sweet.
I mean, even when we were building the character, I even asked you, "Oh man, can I go for a core combat style? Which one? Crossbow?"
Yeah, I'll be honest.
See, I remember you choosing to be a crossbow fighter, but then you said you had a big fucking log. I'm like, he must have changed his mind.
Right? That
no.
was like what I was going.
Yeah,
that was the impression I was under.
I was debating between the big fucking log and the orc double axe because they're both orc weapons, and I thought it'd be hilarious to have the fucking log. So I have a log.
It's a good log.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
And
fair.
a not reach melee weapon to
Seal the deal.
yeah. Negative, minus. I mean, honestly, I couldn't really think much of a minus. Like, the only thing I could come up with was my decision of I just wasn't a big part of non-combat things. But that was again kind of my decision when we were talking to the dwarf hunter thief guy, and I just went back to deal with the trap. Or even when we, at the end when we were going into the house, when I said, no, I'm sitting back looking through a window, crossbow ready in case things look hairy.
Honestly, though, I mean, that's something to take note of, too, in spite of it not necessarily being a note for me. But it's something, but it's worth keeping in mind, okay, yeah, could I have been more involved? Sure, maybe it's not necessarily a minus, but it's definitely something that you'd be like, oh, okay, I'll take some more. I'll put in a little bit more effort to be more involved. Yeah.
I'm not. I don't even think that. No, just the only thing I could think of, but those were my choices to make. Like, there's nothing like on you on that.
Yeah, fair.
It's like I just chose to be a little more distant for these things.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. It's more
Yeah.
just notes for yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
and-
keep it to yourself, huh?
Yeah.
Punk.
Something
We don't share shit.
This is a toxic masculinity
That's
household. We shut everything in. We don't
Excuse
talk.
me? Did you just assume? This is a toxic femininity household. Okay?
You go, girlfriend.
All right.
Let's see. That's all I want to see more of.
We have
Wow.
3 viewers. Whoa. Ooh. Hey guys.
It's not me.
Welcome.
It's me. I'm all three.
Nice.
I knew the mothership call worked.
Yes.
Man, something I want to see more of. I really liked. I can't remember his name. The guy that we have captive with.
Oh, Gerald.
Gerald.
How could
yeah.
you forget Gerald?
I forgot his name. I didn't forget him. But I like having just more like NPC kind of interaction with him. It just kind of brought more I guess flavor to the game, and some more of that. That'd be a real solid. Just those more interaction options.
The inevitably kidnapped NPC that is turned into something they
Classic.
weren't meant to.
Classic.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, no. As a
Every
hostage,
Just the classic
The-
NPC.
every
trope
session we have
of-
an enemy NPC who we immediately attach to.
it's great.
It's
It's the way that it has to be. Awesome. Yeah.
the way of the world.
Sweet. Yeah, Devin.
Bad guy becomes good guy.
I guess my plus was more or less that the game all around that one session was like just a good amount of stuff happened. Like it was sure there was a little bit like a lot of combat, but like it wasn't like 3 hours of combat. It was like little quick ones.
Yeah, it wasn't a slog.
Exactly. There was no moment where it was just a slog, and it was there was little things that constantly happened. So all around, just the session was good. It was a good session. I really can't think of any negatives, honestly. I didn't really have any.
Don't worry, I'll have plenty to
Yeah,
fill both of
there's-
your slots.
No
Only
Okay.
negative.
Don't
It's
worry.
I
all
need it
good.
like this or that. Something I want to see less of.
This stupid game I hated.
I want to see
It's
less of us
silly.
streaming. I don't want our dreams to be achieved.
Yeah.
Dumb.
But yeah, rock and roll. Anything?
Actually, you know what? One thing
Sick.
I can think of just now, actually, that
Now
would
that
be
you
kind of
mention-
neat. Not really a negative, but more of just a that would be cool if that happened. As we were going through everything, I totally just realized this a couple of days ago. We didn't ever go over the bodies that were surrounding our camp, ever. Like, we
Yeah,
never talked about it.
I was.
And then we just went to bed in the middle of a dangerous woods. So I just thought that would have been a cool we were idiots and now there's monsters showing up because we didn't clear the corpses. But little things like that, I think that's just cool that we didn't think of it, obviously.
Yeah.
2 corpses, 2 unconscious guys.
Which
Yeah,
one's
that is
which?
true. There was 2 unconscious.
Which one's
Yeah,
which?
I didn't
I'll never
kill
know.
any of the people that I heard.
Well, the 2 dogs died and the 1 dude
I
died.
definitely
so there's
didn't.
3 corpses at least.
3 corpses.
Yeah,
two
there was
unconscious
at
people.
least 3 corpses.
The two guys I slapped, I knocked unconscious.
Yeah, because
Nah.
the dogs were killed.
Decomposition wouldn't set in for them.
Nah.
So yeah, that was not really a
12
negative.
hours.
That's more of a
Something. I don't know.
I guess just
Not
because we were
fly
going
effort.
so quickly.
No,
through
totally.
the game, but that
Yeah.
would have been funny to have just been oh yeah, we weren't smart and we got punished for it.
I agree. No, you're right. I think I was focused on other things, and that was actually one of the things I was pushing. I don't know if you noticed, but it was hey, did you check the tent? It's just this big.
Oh, I noticed.
tent.
I remember in the morning.
Casino.
Yes.
I just thought it was really funny. Yeah, and I mean, and we were just being focused on other things. But you're right. That's something that it's just more toys to play with, right? It's
Yeah,
just
of course,
more
just
stuff.
little things.
Yeah. And I think you're right. Slowing down and I think that we could all kind of do a little bit of that. It's just slowing down and taking in everything that's going on. It's helpful, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, you don't want a whole game to be just rush, right?
Right. That's just it.
I want content 100% of the time. I want to be overloaded with information, destroy my brain.
Destroy my cerebellum.
If you are not monologuing at me for the entire session, I don't want it.
Mine break my
What is this,
intentions.
Rift?
I want to do is roll dice and say
At least you know, you could just take that L, right? But yeah, and so I guess that also is pretty much. Would you say that that's also like the thing you want to see more of? Is like
yeah, more or less, just like
Consequences.
sure consequences for like
But not always bad.
for like everything. I want to
Oh,
lose all the
hey.
time. No.
it's like 8 people.
Oh my god. Hi everybody.
Whoa,
Thank you for coming.
Wowzers.
Wowzers.
I'm just gonna turn that so we can actually
But,
read the chat if there's any.
Get
Yeah.
out, leave now.
But yeah,
he's a negative Nancy.
sweet rock and roll. Yeah, I love that. Just more stuff to play with, and I feel you. Hey,
Your center of attention.
Something I like is, again, as players, we are having time to interact with each other,
Yeah.
which is always nice. We're able to, you know, like, just be characters with each other. We're not just like walking from one place to another and just like nothing is being said between us.
Yeah.
We have little like quick exchanges. Negative, again, I don't really have a negative for the session. Like, it was majority combat, so like a lot happened, but at the same time, not a whole lot kind of happened.
I got you.
Yeah. And so it's more of just, you know, keep up the good work. We're trying to make this game good.
And I mean that's one thing. I'm not even worried about it being good. Like whether or not it's good at this
It's gonna
point
have
is
bad
like,
moments no matter what.
right? Like
No,
that's
100%
so
highs,
good.
lows.
Has to be
Yeah.
has to be incredible. If this is an absolute gamer tier content,
Yes.
then I totally
Yeah.
disowning this
Yeah.
channel.
Nothing
But
but
we'll tell
highs.
you.
What's our YouTube again? The
It's just Ruckus Room.
Ruckus Room. Just
Ruckus.
for anyone curious, please check out the Ruckus Room for any context you might be missing. We play D&D on Fridays around 5 o'clock usually. That's just what we're chatting on right now, just in case you're curious.
Pacific Standard Time.
It's
is
not
important.
Pacific Standard Time anymore. It's just Pacific Time now.
Well, that's
There's no standard
wrong
anymore.
of
They've
them.
removed
I
that.
thought it was mountain.
why would they remove the standard?
Time's the same thing.
Mountain,
Yeah, Mountain and Pacific.
no, Mountain Time's its own time zone.
It's on time zone, but it's the same.
It's the same time.
It's the same time.
Yeah, but it's for those people that live in the mountains. They want to be special.
Or check us out at
Dwarfs.
Instagram/Ruckus Room.
That too. I'll keep you updated.
Sweet. But yeah, awesome. So, I guess one thing
Twitter,
we want to
too.
see more of.
I said that.
Oh,
You said
yeah,
be
Jesus.
good. Wake up.
He told you to get good. You want less of that.
You know what? I want you to listen more. How
Open your ears.
It's been a long 2 days, guys. But yeah, sweet.
thought
Just
about
more
that.
good shit. I'm about it. More good. Eloquent. Yeah, and Glenn, that's good.
Yeah, the plus was at the end of the session. I got to stop playing. The negative was the session. I'd like to see more days between sessions.
Yeah. Longer period.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No,
Less D&D.
That's D&D.
Yeah,
like to
I've had
wait for
enough.
Braden.
10 years too many.
Once
No.
every minute.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of the statements. It was very fun. I do like doing combat. It's just, and the direction of combat, like a lot of just variables, is nice. I think that's just segues into my negative though, is the fact that since there's so much going on, a couple people got confused, and then the fight just kind of like went, ugh, right? It just got bogged down in like over here, over there. What's the distance?
Totally,
Am
yeah.
I running? Okay, the dogs, where'd they come from? Where'd they go? Cotton Eye Joe. What the hell?
It
get a
especially
little weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. I can't remember. Was it you who was asking because you were under the? No, you were heading towards the where the sounds were coming from because you're trying to get your pony, and then they were running towards you. And Devin, you were in
I
the
was
tree.
in my tree. I climbed the tree at the
Yeah,
start.
there's just,
Yeah.
it just got
And
confusing.
Bogey was guarding.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
Bogged down.
Oh, we did it.
Oh, we lost half.
That's okay. It's on purpose.
Earned.
Yeah, sorry. You're gonna say you're gonna.
Yeah, that's it. It's just like we can't obviously fit a mat into this session yet.
Not yet,
But
yeah.
just keep that in mind since we don't have a mat, that distances can get confusing in like bigger things.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, what I might start doing is, even though we can't have a map, I might just do diagrams, since I love
That'd be
drawing
nice.
maps anyway.
Yeah, you'd be
And-
like, hey, quickly, here's what you're looking at.
Right, and I mean, just with the map the other day, and then like making it bigger later, or making it a lot clearer after the fact. You know, I could easily just sketch down something really quick as a indicator.
That'd be good.
And I mean, that'll help with confusion. It'll help, give
a top-down view of something, even if it's simple, is like you look at it and you go, ah.
Right, it just simplifies things. So I know what I that's totally fair, and I think that's something I'm gonna do. Just more of, at least have it drawn out so you guys can see it.
You can see what's going on
Yeah,
in
just-
your head.
Yeah, just quick sketches of battlefields and battle mats. Yeah. And one thing you want to see more of.
I'll pass.
But more of,
no,
less of
no.
the game.
Yeah, no comment. No comment.
Yeah.
I leave the press room. I don't know. I'm having fun. There's not a lot of there's nothing specific I'd like to see more of right now. It was good.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Glad.
There's nothing specific I want to see more of yet.
Yeah.
That I was like, I need more of this.
Yeah.
Hit combat, got a bit of exploring, had a role play, like kind of hit all the good notes.
Sweet. Yeah.
What about you?
I
Right, Uno reverse card.
That's okay. No. Yeah, I guess one big plus was I think the way you guys interacted with the combat was great. Like, again, because sometimes one of the things that I kind of give to you guys is, a lot of times, if a combat's taking too long or a session is too much of one thing, a lot of the times, we've run into situations where it can be a little bit sleepy, right? But you guys were totally engaged the whole time, and you were in character, and you were interested and curious, and that obviously right?
And I could have a lot less of it, honestly.
But yeah, it really helps me, because sometimes you ask things that I just don't see, or you ask things that make me. I mean, it's the great nature of player DM interactions. Is a lot of times you'll ask something and I'll be like, oh, well, I haven't thought of that yet, but I can now, and we can work on it. And I just think that's been great. And one minus, again, I don't really have any minuses. I would have liked to have had given you guys a little bit more of a moment to slow down and interact with each other. But I mean,
And the camps.
The way things worked out, I think that it worked
Spiders.
out well. There was a level. There was like levels to the combat, which is always like I always love. And then I think for me it's just more the same. You guys have been sweet, and it's been a lot of fun.
Nice.
But that being said, I think that is a great segue into like my topic of today, which is battle mats and how much fun they can be, and where they're great and where they're maybe better left not seen.
Great for very diverse encounters.
Yes,
That's it. That's my biggest opinion. Big encounters with lots of enemies and lots of bits in the stage.
Yeah, because that gets really confusing without a mat and just like, there's walls, ramparts, archers over here. Oh, we've got rats going this way. And fuck yeah, there's no mat. It's like, okay, that's a lot I have to be remembering all the time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, as an example, my game yesterday, which I run just casually, I used the battle mat for an encounter in a dwarven outpost, and there was a big, to describe it, it was a big balcony that had a broken ramp down into like a loading area where there were pillars that were broken, and then there were mites living in houses on the pillars, and there was ropes between those pillars that let them run around on, and they had a rat nests that they kept in cages and spikes with these fungus that ate corpses that fell, and it's like that's a lot to describe, and the players would be like, what the fuck? What do you want? Like height, distance, it'd all be like mangled during the combat. But with the battle mat, you can be like, there it is, and they go, oh, that's that thing. That's the rope. That's the pillar.
Totally.
Monsters right there, this far away from me.
Yeah, I and you know what? But I would definitely consider that like medium combat. I think that where a battle mat like does its best work is between small and medium combat. Where when I picture like huge scale like war,
Oh, that's not combat.
right?
for
That's
players.
not a combat for players,
No.
right? That is something that is better left to the imagination because you're going to go between points to points to points where you're going to have those medium.
I don't even
encounters.
consider that combat. That's just
Yeah, that's something else.
That's a setup.
armies fighting is just like it's like a out of character, or it's like a overview of what the characters do, because you can't be in character for the entire war.
No,
Because that would just be insane. That would be months of just being in character. That's kind of like I think wars are best handled like downtime's handled, where it's like, this week your provisions were running low, and you know.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, with maybe just like a couple like missions here and there to just kind of help swing things. Like,
Yeah,
let's just
you
go
could
to
totally-
like this outpost to stop
Exactly.
our enemies from getting.
Yeah,
food.
if you want to
I don't know.
have combat, the players doing something to help an army, and you fight like a small outpost or a scouting party or something, then now it's combat. Now you can have the battle mat if it's something like that, like if it's insane, or if it's just a bunch of horses in a open field with like a tree.
Yeah.
You need a battle mat? I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably not.
It's like I think there are some scenarios, especially with the smaller fights, where maybe you don't really need a battle mat. And that's if it's just a basic, like they're in the
totally
plains and it's just like
Totally
a group of
agree.
people. Like, yeah, okay, fine. It's
Random
just
encounters.
Yeah, just
Random
simple
encounter, yeah, and I think even some fights don't need battle mats. If your area you're fighting in is either moving too much, you don't need a battle mat because you're gonna leave the battle mat pretty quick. Or if it's just a simple fight area, like if you're fighting in an arena, and you're like, here's the arena's X wide, there's some rocks here. You're fighting these guys.
Yeah.
Do you need a battle mat? No.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be fucking, crazy shit.
Yeah.
No crazy set pieces.
Yeah, it's really I think just best executed with the battle mat. There's just a lot of interesting things to kind of play with, and that way everyone can see it at all times. Like, okay, like I can run around this corner, get some cover. There's a chandelier up top. There's multiple levels in this foyer we're fighting in.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys know I love designing big combats, and I mean they're really great for boss fights. I mean, how much fun is it to design a room that's gonna like collapse? Now there is over design. When you're
And
trying
under.
yes, and under design.
Yeah.
And under.
Yeah.
I remember there
Which
was
one?
the one where you had us build like level 11 characters. We went into that city that was cursed, and
right.
the combat was just a hallway with pillars. And
Yeah,
we just summoned
exactly.
a tree on the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, why are we fighting with a mat? Or why do we have the mat out?
Yeah,
The mat was pointless.
Totally
there.
fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair. Yeah, and I mean, a part of that, I think that more has to do with combat design than the mat itself. But yeah, I agree. Like, yeah, anytime that you have enough moving parts and you've thought things through in that way, then I think it's great.
Yeah, I think when there's just too much detail to keep track of verbally is when you want a battle map. Because it's just when you have to describe a area, and like you haven't even described the enemies yet. When you have to spend a couple paragraphs describing the area that you're fighting in, that's like the player in the game going, okay, I'm fighting, like really quick, right?
Yeah.
But the DM has to spend 5 minutes talking about it. That's when you want to have it on the mat, so the player can be like, that's that.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought just like my character would.
Yeah.
Action. Totally.
DM gets to explain
Yeah.
it once.
Yeah.
And everyone knows instead of everyone, okay, here's everything.
Yeah. that was how far away? I moved 30 feet this way. Now, how far away am I from that? It's like,
Yeah.
it just slows down the fight. Whereas if you have a battle mat, it's like, I'm that far away.
That is my favorite thing about the battle mat.
Yeah.
Is a situation where you're not having to ask like when
Yeah.
it's like he runs away. It's like, well, how far did he run away? You can very
Yeah.
much like look at like in the game we did yesterday. In his, I have a heavy crossbow, so I can shoot 120, and the big bad boss appeared chanting his like things, and I just like on another person's turn, I was just like counting out the squares, seeing if I could hit him, and I'm like, yes, I'm just in range. I'm
It
like,
saves a lot of time.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if your map has like maybe 3 to 4 intricate and different scenario effectors, like difficult terrain, cover, things like that, you should definitely have a mat. I think if it's below that, you can maybe manage.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like if you have 2 different factors, like there's difficult terrain here and there's coverage from trees, that's fine. But if there's all that, and then there's like an acid pit and like 3 different types of enemies and like maybe a spawner or something, like you have to draw it out because your players aren't going to remember that crap. You might not remember that crap.
Well, and I think that it is. I mean, that's half the best. I mean, that is the best part. It's like it takes any guesswork out for anybody,
and it does eliminate a lot of questions. That's the other thing.
Which is, I mean, I think that it's something that will be really fun and exciting to add into our game when we can. And like, if anybody out there has any ideas or ways that you've seen other tables do it where there's only a handful of people and it's a small setup, feel free to DM us at our Instagram or send us links. Any ideas?
I'll be sure to leave you on read.
Yeah. But yeah, seriously, any ideas would be helpful because it's one of my favorite things to do, and it gives you so much more options. Because I think that you can make a more fun, more complex map, or you can make a more fun, more complex combat typically when you have all the pieces in front of you that you can go, oh, this can do this, this can do that, this can do that. But I mean, obviously, within reason. I made the mistake of I had this what I thought was a really cool idea, and in theory it was, but I couldn't execute it properly. Which is I had rings. It was this big battle ring where the players would move in these circles counterclockwise. So the idea being that every round they might hit somebody different, right? In this big swinging round, like carousel room.
5-hour combat.
But because I didn't have proper set pieces, like originally my idea was I wanted to build a circle, like a piece, right, where I could turn each of the circles. Physically, right? But because all we had was the mat, now that is one of the things, like, that's where you get into, like, actual pieces, right? Terrain, and
even that, I don't think you don't. I mean, it'd be much better. Like if you're visually showing a mat to an audience, you definitely want physical pieces, just because it's so mundane to look at a mat, right? It's like,
They're just different colors.
but I don't think you ever need it. I think you just, as long as you're planned, and you can describe what's happening properly. Because that carousel was confusing because it was always like, moves how far?
Yeah.
And then it would always be like, all right, next round, stands up, moves the pieces, like shifting the bits. It's like,
that's always that. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, again, one of those things. Interesting idea, poorly executed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But how are y'all feeling? Any other ideas?
Bloated.
Bloated. Yeah, a little bit
indigestion. Yeah. I probably could do with less coffee, but
Not my coffee.
Definitely.
All right. You're speaking my language.
Well, yeah.
Chris thoughts. Well, actually.
Oh, we should get them to meme him.
Yeah.
If we can.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yes.
That would be good.
Yeah. No, I was just looking at the time and realized that maybe next time it might be worth each of us just writing down just a conversational point.
I mean,
Because it seems pretty short this time around.
I mean,
I
it's
have no
been...
points to add.
0.
Ever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
No,
been...
I said
Yeah.
30
It's been 34 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
No, I said for next
we got
time.
more.
More.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Combat's fun. I mean, the whole idea of combat's a great topic, and there's all kinds of different stuff. I don't know, man.
Come on.
Oh yeah, combat's good, boys. I like
The guy behind the camera.
Talk about combat!
Oh my god. Sounds like a
gun
I mean, we already mentioned him, but does anyone else have like a combat that you thought they planned out in their head that you imagined it going one way but just didn't work out?
I mean,
the
how
time?
many?
thousands of
I mean, if we want to get into that, we can talk about that year and a half game.
Woo!
And,
Let's go!
He's
got the best ones.
so, yeah. So it was a
try.
boss type enemy, and I wanted to try something that I didn't remember ever being done, at least in any game I was in, where the creature they were gonna fight was a dungeon they had cleared. Like it was just this creature in massive proportion, and they went inside of it first to weaken it from the inside. And then they went into their flying magical pirate ship after it woke up, and I realized round one, oh, they do a lot of damage. Oh, they do a lot of damage.
They have a pirate ship.
Oh no, they have a pirate ship that has 40 cannons on each side and a dragon.
That's
Yeah, and it's like, okay,
And an army of dwarves.
yeah, and
They didn't do that much though.
yeah, and
They're
well,
busy fighting the demons.
and while
40 cannons broadside.
and while in my head, like in the moment, and definitely how I remember is this big, epic, just this combat where they're firing at it. The wizard who turned himself into a dragon is casting spells, and they're trying to stop it from getting to the dwarven / giant armies, because that was part of the quest before us. They had to unite both of them, otherwise there was like no hope.
army.
And then when it woke up, it was, oh no, they will not stand a chance. We have to, if we want people alive on our side, we can't let this thing meet them and just turn into, we need to kill it before it gets to them.
Yeah. And so, wonderfully, we did so much damage in the first combat. Chris added a couple zeros.
Yep. Well, I only added 1 0, but I did change the first number a time or two.
Yeah, a time or two.
Yeah, it's like,
we were
okay,
either-
round 4,
It became
okay, that was over
it went from like
1,000.
this, like, oh my god, cataclysmic, world-ending boss fight, time to circle, strafe an enemy in like early mob and WoW. It was just like bang, 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 bang,
Which
bang,
was-
bang, 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 bang.
Which
So
was,
many d6s I had to roll.
yeah,
That was the best
Did
part.
it have ranged attacks?
yes.
Yeah, it just.
I mean, it turned off the pirate ship after a few rounds. I was like, no,
That's-
no, it just anti-magic.
Oh, that's another thing we had. We had a giant robot golem.
Oh, yes.
How could we forget Liberty Prime?
Liberty Prime. Yep, literally made Liberty Prime. Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
No,
Wait,
I-
he was in that combat too?
Yeah, he was my giant iron golem with a like a ballista on his shoulder.
They had
Dude,
a lot
that
of
is
downtime and a lot of
A
money.
lot
Yeah.
of money, a lot of
We had a
downtime.
lot of downtime, a lot of money, and a level 19 wizard.
How did you guys get that money?
They were like level 19.
19?
Yeah.
They did a lot
They
of
should have a lot of
adventuring.
money at that
Okay,
level.
well,
Yeah, we pretty
yeah.
much had cities under our thumb, and we were killing literal like god killers.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta reward your players
With the
accordingly,
time, yeah.
accordingly, right?
Totally. It's
It can't be
just
like, oh, you're level 19. Well, here's 50 gold.
Yeah, for some reason I thought this was like level 15.
Even at level
Yeah.
15, you should have a good amount of money.
But Liberty's
level-
prime money.
It's just level 15 is when they started fighting these things, and then that one was like number 5 or so on the list. Man, I think one of my favorites had to be the Nightmare Titan, which accidentally became a you versus it.
yeah.
Accidentally, just
Yeah.
round 1, it just kind of went, here is my kind of sleep spell, and I thought, okay, no, this will not gonna. One of the. Just like a couple of the like lower will save characters, and then it'll be like one way just like doing
rolled
things, and the
so
other way just gonna be
low.
waking them up, and only Glenn made the save.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It wasn't even
I don't
that
remember
high.
this combat because it started. I was put to sleep. So what did I do in real life? I
Went to sleep.
I
It
woke
was
up
so-
4 hours later because the combat was over.
Yeah, you passed out on my couch. I was so funny. Leo kept looking over at you with the you had like that's the stuff like Nemo fish.
That's pretty funny.
Man, it was.
Oh
It was-
man, is that also where Seb took the photo of you?
Yes,
It's like,
I
I've
have
never been-
evolved beyond you.
That's where that comes from. Okay.
That was also, even though that just became a 1v1, that was a solid, like, a good memories of a fight. Just it kept just changing forms because it was just a massive swarm that just hive mind itself into one being, and just like, oh, he turned himself into a dragon. Well, it's just gonna shoot itself up into the ceiling and just start throwing giant spiders at it. Like, okay, a lot of them didn't hit. Alright, it's gonna use the sword to come back and force itself in. Now it's gonna be this makeshift hand trying to swat you out of the sky. And then I didn't think about because in that game we already established that if there was no feasible way for you to dodge an attack that had a reflex save, you didn't get it.
Because it was swarm style.
Yeah, and they were put in that situation where it was, okay, you're in this area. It is now a colossal spider kind of form. And you went, oh, fireball.
Yeah.
And I was like,
can't dodge.
oh, I'm gonna. It has no space to dodge. It has to take full damage.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, area of effect. It will definitely damage the swarm.
Well, yeah, it's a swarm.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
ooh, oof.
Oof.
Yep.
Don't forget the water
Oh,
titan.
that was probably
This was the
one
tightest
of the
and most fuck you, Chris.
yeah
encounters.
one of the, if not like the epitome of this did not go how I planned, is definitely up there. Of initial, we're gonna fight the water titan. No, we're not going in the water.
Yeah.
You come fight us.
Yeah.
On land.
And it didn't want to.
it's
So
like-
guess what?
so-
we brought the land to it.
yeah, like the water's like, no, I'm not gonna fight you
Out
on
of the
land.
You come and fight me in the water.
So, yeah, that
So
was
I
like
put an
what?
air bubble around our boat.
Yeah, that was like what 20 minutes of just you going, no, you fight us. It goes,
Yeah.
no, you fight me.
Yeah, 20 minutes of like 18th level arguments just going, no, I'm not going in there.
And then yeah, they went in and fought in. At that point, I already knew I can't just have a group of high-level characters fight one creature. So there's going to be a few
It was
high-level
like a
creatures.
giant kraken and like
Leviathan
a
and a
giant
kraken.
squid.
It just my whole thought
And,
process for that was
They couldn't reach the boat
yeah
because the air bubble was too big. So
Yeah.
the things were just like, God damn it!
yeah.
so
When I planned
Yeah,
that.
you were just shooting them from the fucking deck.
Oh yeah, because when I planned that fight, I thought, yeah, no, because we're gonna have these things trying to capsize the ship while the water titan is fighting you, and the air bubble's like, oh wait, it's how far across?
Yeah, it gets bigger every level, and
It's
it's
like they-
this big now.
It's like, yeah,
Oh.
no, these things that are meant to capsize your ship can't even reach the ship.
They're floundering in
Yeah,
the
they're
water.
just like
That is just
hilarious.
projectile krakens through the top.
I was
Land
thinking
on the
about
boat.
that. I was
That's what happened.
Easy peasy.
and then yeah, these specific titans each had a host from their plan that just kind of tied them to it and just want. And yeah, it's like this guy was like, well, I have this spell that has no will save that just puts a creature somewhere else, and then they need to make saves to come back, and just went, oh, host, gone. So now I had to think, well, what the fuck happens to this thing now? It's like, I guess it is just a crippled form of itself until the host comes back and it can get to it. And host came back and went, sorry, bud. Just affected. I think it was just a coup de grace. I was like, well, I gotta find someone else to fucking.
You gamed it. Got him.
And then it just became a game of cat and mouse that was not in my favor.
That was a wonderful combat.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, just you guys did things that I did not expect or were prepared for. I was like, fuck.
I think that brings up an interesting point. As a DM, you shouldn't be too prepared for a party.
Oh
I
no,
think
but
that's half the fun of that experience. right?
yeah, that was half fun. Again, like
I think it's
I
good
thought
that you
they
weren't
were-
prepared for them.
again, I thought it was gonna be boat on the water, and it's like, okay, they've got this thing to fight that. Yeah, they could probably deal with pretty quick, but then it's just gonna be the added things trying to destroy the ship. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Which they immediately went, all right, that's out of the
Problem
question.
solved.
Just,
Next
the,
problem.
The problem we didn't even know we were gonna have solved.
Yeah, I didn't know it was gonna happen. I just went, we should go and meet them underwater.
How do you find balance in combats? Like making it difficult enough where it's not necessarily a wipe. Do you even worry about that?
No.
Yeah, at high level, you don't have it.
No, I mean, I'm not even talking about high level.
Like
I'm talking about like all the way through. I mean, to a degree.
I mean, to be fair, like A, no. B, that was how we got to Wrath Titan. And that was not fun for anybody.
To be fair, the nature of your game was different, though. If people died, they stayed dead.
Yeah. It just got to a point where just like high levels, like I cannot justify a person of God Slayer proportions. You just find them in the woods in just town normally, just like.
I think modules, reading through modules, taught me a lot about how to handle not killing your entire, not having TPKs.
Totally. Yes.
And that's just giving the things they fight motivations to not kill. Like there's a lot in modules. A lot of the reasons things won't kill the party is because sometimes it's the first time they've encountered them, and they're curious about the things. They want to ask them questions, so they don't kill them. They capture them and like are interrogating them. Or maybe the party has or knows something that they don't have and they need to get it, but the party doesn't have it on them, so they need to, hey, you're gonna get us the stuff. Or maybe they're just some evil thing that wants to experiment on them, and they don't want them dead.
Classic bandit slavery.
Yeah.
That's always, steal your
DM hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's never, like, I think what it is you want to make combats difficult for players, especially in situations where, let's say, you want the players to, like, let's say there's a situation where you want players to not be able to necessarily beat these guys, right? You want to show them, these guys are scary, right? You don't want them to be, I don't know, how much do you, like, you don't necessarily 99...
Level 99 vampire somebody?
Yeah, you don't do that. But
He's someone. I made him.
I mean, I actually kind of thought of this recently, is because it seems to come up in a lot of just over time, like thinking about it, is an easy way to make something stronger or weaker, but try and make it so like scary. So maybe just do something of, instead of having it have high AC and high HP, just have it have high 1.
yeah, well, yeah, and I mean
But that's like a really easy way to do it, of like, oh, we keep fighting this thing and we keep beating the crap out of it, but it's not going down. Or maybe we just can never hit this thing, but it only has like 30 HP.
It's like wisps.
Yeah.
I have 40
much
AC,
AC.
but 10 HP hits me if you die, I'll die!
I mean, that was almost what the final boss of that game was going to be, but I had to decide okay, this level 4 character has a demigod as a rival. And then I realized that, thanks to you, I realized that it was just plagiarism of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I just looked at that and went, alright, they're gonna get this guy alright, but how? That's like, there's 3 options. Give him exactly what he wants, and then he just shows up because it's a demigod and goes, haha, my rival. Well then. It was like, oh yeah, just made him super powerful, but if he stubs his toe, he goes catatonic. Or I give him exactly what he wants, and that's the route I went down, and oh god, that was fun making him, especially when I gave him powers to send you to the Shadow Realm. That was... Oh.
This is what happens when you plagiarize other backstory, other lore, and don't tell your DM. You get spiked.
Oh yeah, no, he tried passing that off as, it's nobody at this table. But they tried passing it off. They tried passing it off as, oh yeah, I made this and I was none the wiser. I don't know Yu-Gi-Oh lore. Fortunately, this guy does.
Hey, I'm a loser.
So just one day I'm just like, yeah, wow, this is like a cool backstory. Yeah, wow. And he was like, this is familiar.
Just copy paste.
I hate to tell you this, but everything is Yu-Gi-Oh!
yeah.
Down to its base molecules.
Even the names were just copy-pasted.
Yeah.
And I
Went to the wiki. I have a character.
that was literally it. We just like, here's
Don't
the
do
wiki,
that,
and I was like, this. He went, yeah, you even went, this is the wiki, and I just read like, this is it. This is the backstory.
Well, and I mean, to go on to that, there's nothing necessarily wrong with having a character that's inspired by someone
Totally.
fiction.
No.
Yeah.
Paste and copy pasted it.
absolutely.
It's literally, if think about it like your 10th grade English class. Just copy paste anything, you don't learn dick diddly. You just finish the class. But this isn't a class. This is a game you're showing up to have fun at. You're not there to get it over with.
And I'm not here to judge anybody's fun, but I am.
I am. I absolutely am.
am judging.
I judge everything.
D&D players are super
If
good.
I can judge myself strictly, I can judge my having funliness strictly.
Yeah.
I'm not having fun anymore.
Just being so dramatic about it the instant it just hit a low.
Oh man, I'm gonna do that now. Instead of pouting or like just going quiet when I'm bored, I'm just gonna say that out loud.
I am not
having fun anymore.
Yeah.
just making a scene.
Dramatic.
Yeah, I couldn't. I mean, so many combats for myself. I mean, anything in X-Found ever.
The pinwheel.
Yeah,
That was great.
That was wild. Yeah, so there were there's this game that I had run years ago now called X-Found, and there was basically these two groups of adventurers. There's these guys, and then this other group that was kind of going through the world in parallel with them.
They were rats.
And they were kind of dickheads. And so there's this big final showdown between them.
One of them had a minigun.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
And so there was this big showdown. They were talking, and then out of nowhere, they had these gems that they could imbue into their weapons and give them special powers.
they had Dragon Balls.
Dragon Ball. Yeah. And
Chaos Emerald.
Chaos Emeralds, Dragon Balls, MacGuffin Balls.
They had MacGuffin orbs that make you strong.
Yeah, MacGuffin orbs made you strong. And anyway, so Hayden, as the main guy was talking, he was giving this big speech, just fucking sends this, like, Tetsaiga fucking, what the hell is it called? Windscar! Just
Speaking of
absolutely
plagiarizing.
yeah, speaking of plagiarism, just slices the dude's arm off as it goes just flying into the distance. And I thought, like, there was a part of me that was like, okay, well, I could do something about this. They absolutely got wiped.
Yeah, it was like 2 rounds.
Oh, it was, maybe.
That was such a fun combat. I just remember, like, the monk guy runs up to me, like, smashes my leg, almost breaks it, and I'm like, that's nice. Bonk!
Yeah.
Dead.
Slapped.
Instantly
Try again.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, now, just because a combat doesn't go as you expect, doesn't mean it doesn't go fucking incredible. Like, in the same game, the Titan of, or not the Titan, the,
Purple Assassin?
God of, Dark Assassin. That was awesome. You
died excellently.
Absolutely annihilated. It was super cool.
We pretty much just fought a thing that was there to just go, don't come in this area because there was loot there, and it was this guy going, you must now leave. Essentially, like, I'm gonna beat you up. And he showed up, and we're like, we can take this bastard. Yeah, because we've been popping off the whole game, and so we're like, we're gonna get him, and we were doing all this crazy cool shit. We had a guy with a big shield, and he was blocking all the shots while I was behind shooting things, and he was like, blocking it, and there was like sparks and shit. And then it just grabbed him and pretty much killed him.
Yeah, just like ripped my head off or something. I was like,
because it knocked you unconscious first.
Yeah, knocked him out.
And
we went, oh shit, let's regroup.
Yeah.
So we gathered up, we're like, yeah, we'll take him. And then it just killed him in front of us. And we're like,
oh shit.
Yeah. Now to keep in mind, at the very beginning of this game, I said it was like super ruthless. I had like 12 players, and so
session 1, like 5 people died. And they weren't allowed to play anymore.
Yeah,
Nice.
It was like I said, 1 character limit done. Like if you die, you die. And
Ben took my shotgun, and I'll never let him live it down.
And
that's a good time. Died. I still showed up just to witness.
that's dedication.
And he came back.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was paid off.
Honor.
It wasn't supposed to be me. I came back to die again.
I can't believe it. But yeah, I like that or
You left us for her.
God of Decay, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
That was just insane.
I mean, like, just combat side, went in a direction I didn't think would go that way was the first cock scenario I ran. Where, it was getting close to the end of the scenario.
Yeah.
Oh, it was coming down face to face. The group was going to be like fighting these weird fish people that ran this summer camp.
Yep.
And they had this NPC with them. And the NPC, he was supposed to kind of like force the group to go to places because he was like, my family, I gotta save them. And this man became the American hero.
Yep.
Just like critted everything, was just gunning the fish people down. And I'm just like,
We didn't have to fight it.
This isn't a fight. This is just him slaughtering everything.
Yeah, that guy.
This is supposed to be a challenge.
Yeah, that like
He even
6-year-old
clutched at the end.
dad bod father was just a hoss.
They took his family. He took their lives.
Yeah, just like I'm like, this is ridiculous, but I mean, this is still fun.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
player is fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just letting things happen as they do.
Or I got another one. I can actually think of two more, both run by you. One of them another COD game, which at least as a player I didn't see coming, where it became me versus them because I kept drinking the fucking booze and then it just failed saves, and then suddenly I'm the thing. It's like, oh yeah, no, we're going to take you to mommy. Mom wants to see you.
That was not okay.
That was great.
That was great.
That was exactly what it needed to be.
It was exactly what needed to be. And then the other one was
Fucking hell, that was
when he became the final boss, because our
in your game.
just in the other one, Pathfinder, where just our
High level Pathfinder
just a
characters.
conflict
We got
of-
like a
Right.
relic, and some eldritch dude was like, "Yes, now I take the relic," and then he's like, "By the way, I'm using this relic to destroy timelines or some shit," he said, and my character was like, "Well, that's not good.
and,
I'm not letting that happen." And the group's like, "But we said we'd give it to him," and I'm like, "No!" And then it became a boss fight, and I was the boss.
That's pretty sick.
he kept summoning rhinos, became an elk with his elk companion, and just
Yeah. As the DM in that situation, I was just like, oh yeah, now it's time for them to fight the BBG of the story. And then you use someone to start
Get
fighting
outta
the-
here!
And the guy literally sat there for a round, like casting spells, and went, wait a minute, I don't fucking need to be here, and just left. He's like, what?
See you later.
Yeah. Alternatively, though, combats that go exactly as you plan, shit that you just plan out and you go, oh, it just made it. It just did it how it was supposed to.
Yeah, I wouldn't say exactly as planned. I'd
Not
say
exactly,
planned.
but
not exactly, but definitely gave off the exact impression
Yes.
I wanted. Was
the good
year,
final result you were looking for.
year and a half game. You guys meeting Rob's antagonist for the first time.
That
after
was perfect.
I was worried. Yeah, he was a few levels higher than me, but I was worried that you guys meet him as a group, and if one of you initiates the fight, it's like he won't manage. But
It just
you were
so happened that
also-
we all split up and came towards where he was at different
Yeah,
times.
just at one at a time. So he just kept 1v1ing and just demolishing everyone. It's just like Rob
Using different tactics every time too, which was
just
really
like Rob has enough talk as he's trying to claim this artifact. Not an artifact, but a powerful item that he had commissioned for.
cool. Yeah, it was a sword.
Yeah, so then Robin pulls out his bow. It's like, okay. He pulls out his bow and out shoots Rob. Doesn't kill him, but definitely leaves him on the ground. But he's like, that was just embarrassing.
And he claimed the sword, the poison sword.
Yeah, he claimed the poison. Yeah, Taylor comes in shortly after. He and his familiar go, and he goes, oh, okay. Downs the familiar right away because doesn't have any HP, and I think he would just charged him in melee.
Yeah, 'cause he was a wizard.
Yeah.
So he just knocked him out and just pummeled him.
And then Seb heard combat, so he got a bunch of mercenaries and went out, and he could hear them coming. So he strapped a smoke bomb to the familiar and lobbed it, so that either they'd shoot the familiar or the smoke bomb would go off. And he had a magic that let him see through the smoke, so he just in the smoke went pop, 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 and then just emerged. Yeah, he fought you on the stairs where. Yeah, he needed to call one of his assassin buddies to help him take you out, but you destroyed the sword that he got. He's like, oh, you son of a bitch.
I broke it. It wasn't the sword.
Yeah. And then, just finally, he's just about to leave the city. Aaron comes.
This was the best.
Aaron comes seeing him. I was like, all right, I'm just going to sneak attack him. And he's like,
Yeah, the final fight, the rogue coming in on this super low health BBEG, about to sneaking up on him in the just this conglomerate of just civilians, and he's about to sneak away, but the rogue sees him. The rogue goes up and is about to stab him, and he says, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And the rogue just lets him go. And it was like, boy.
It's important to note that in every encounter, they managed a couple hits on him. He wasn't just this untouchable god. He got shot. He got hacked. He was almost downed by this guy. And just,
It went
they got some hits. He just...
we lost.
close.
Yeah, it was
lost.
close. It's just...
Amazingly.
Yeah, it just...
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
It just gave the impression of...
at some point.
it just
Can't tell
gave the exact impression that I wanted. Yeah, this guy... trains assassins. He knows how to fight. He knows how to be sneaky. Yeah, he's got people who can help him out when he needs it.
Yeah.
They're trained to do that.
It was
Just
very
like,
cool.
"Ooh."
Oh yeah.
And then, unfortunately, the final fight between him and Rob just didn't quite go that way because Rob just went, I disarm. And I was not ready for that. He's like, all right, he draws his blades. I disarm his blades. He quick draws daggers coated in puss. I disarm those. He quick draws hidden more daggers because why wouldn't he have 20 daggers hidden on his person at all times? And it just kept going, all right, no. Full attack action. I attack, disarm. Okay, great. It's like, okay. Takes a 5-foot step, and he's gonna quick draw and throws. Like, all right, I move up, disarm. It's like, oh god, he's running out of weapons.
That's pretty fun though.
I thought with my left.
Man.
Just as demolished.
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, I'd actually made a module one time. I should see if I still have it. But it was a one game, it was a one session game where a group of archaeologists and adventurers are going into this big dungeon, this temple, to try and find this orb of this god. And I had a list of characters, and I had pre-generated these characters, and they all had their own little backstory. And I asked all the players to pick one. I gave them a rundown of all of them, except for one. I said, whoever wants to, they can pick this character, but nobody else gets to read it. It's just you. And it's just it'll give you a little something. And so one of the players takes it, and they go through this big dungeon. And at the very end of the dungeon, the guy who had the secret character is actually going to be the final boss fight. And so he actually leads them down the wrong path with nobody really knowing or having any reason not to believe him. They go down this tunnel, and they enter this antechamber with this big pedestal in the middle.
And then 3,000 ghouls attack them.
From the city.
3,000 goals.
3,000. All you need is one ghoul, one pit.
One goal, one pit. But yeah, so the guy takes this orb, puts it on this altar, and he gets these powers. And what ended up happening was we actually ran out of time. But the very final bit was he had gained these powers. A bunch of these tentacles spawned around the room that were going to start attacking the players. But we ran out of time. We finished up, and it just just how quick the rest of the group was to believe him, and how it worked out, and how everybody in the session was just super involved was really cool. I mean, that's always fun. Anytime that you can kind of pull the wool over somebody's eyes, or when a moon appears, that's always sick.
The moon.
One fat moon in the sky.
Oh no, boss fight. Time to throw a moon.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that too. That was cool though. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, you
That was very
grabbed
fun.
the moon. That was sick.
Oh no, we're fighting a planet-sized monster. What do? There's a moon to this planet.
Not for long! Ah!
They got a robot!
Planet.
Yeah.
Every now and again, it's fun to play absolutely ridiculous characters.
Sometimes you just gotta cut loose and just give everyone a ludicrous amount of points to just make gods with.
And I think that those are definitely times there's no need for a battle map. There's nothing you can. There's nothing you can.
Not when you have the magical corgi fly up to the army and go, bark!
You are
and just go,
mine.
yes, master.
Yes, master.
Bow to your whims.
I had infinite charisma because I was a dog.
Oh my god, yeah.
Not when you're immune to all forms of damage, except for one very specific one.
Yeah, what were you?
I was the giant skeleton.
Yeah, I remember what you
drunken
were.
death,
Yeah, like the four-arm skeleton man.
3-arm, whatever, and he threw around this big mace keg, or
It was a giant, keg that was
With
just
spikes
attached to
on
my
it.
spinal column. And yeah, I believe the only thing that could damage me was wood.
that. Yes,
It's like
That's
because I just
pretty
put so
fucking
many
cool.
points into it that I was immune to all damage except for one thing. I was like, wood. Why would? I'll be honest. My thought process was, who's gonna bring just wood?
I should have thrown at least one kid with a wooden sword.
Oh yeah, no, he'd be my end. All my resistance is gone. He just hit me like stop! Like this, like 50-foot tall, just cackling 3-armed like adamantine skeleton. Just
no! I only have 1 HP.
Stop it.
That is a great image of a character, by the way. It's just a fantastic villain.
I mean,
And
a
the skeleton
kid with a
is.
stick.
I mean, yes.
A child.
With
A child. I was just thinking. But yeah, no, just great. Just
What's
one
worse than a
gigantic-
child with a stick? A child!
a child.
Yeah, just gigantic chain. And yeah, the third arm was just always like swinging around in battle, and then the other two arms like,
So many memes about
A child.
yeah, just like fucking just down the nearly infinite keg of ale, and just like like click my teeth and
Like
Banger.
fire.
yeah.
But one little twig.
But one little twig would
One
be my
twiggy
end.
boy.
Stick bug.
Who would win?
I'll be
An
a nice-
infinite god of the cosmos who breathes fire and is made of adamantium, or one sticky boy?
One sticky boy.
Yeah, just
Yeah. Well, we're at an hour. So.
We did it! All right, we filled the time.
All right, we did. We filled the
Chris stories. I love Chris stories.
Chris stories are always good.
Chris stories.
All right.
Man behind the
well,
camera can leave. Get out.
No.
You can
we
leave.
said leave.
Please.
No, don't pee on the couch. Thank you.
You always
Well,
says that.
thank you all for watching. Yeah, you can follow us at twitch.tv.
Be sure to send me a bunch of funny pictures. 'cause I,
Ruckus Room.
I sure will look at
I
them.
can't do it. I just can't speak English, man. Can you do it?
Man, I didn't know you. I didn't know you were on
Can you
dead.
please
You
help me?
did it.
Can you call a pizza man? I feel anxious.
Pizza!
All right. If you want to catch us anywhere else, Ruckus Room on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We also have a Facebook page, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep. Find us there.
At Room Ruckus on Twitter, though, because Ruckus Room was taken.
Yeah,
and
sadly.
whoever took that, I will find you.
And we will lick
I don't
you.
know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to find you.
You just
You
told
just
him we're
said
gonna lick one dangerous lick.
What?
I'm going to lick him.
We're gonna lick him.
I'm going to...
Oh, I gotta get up to do this. This is awkward. Oh God.
Amateur tag, Pornhub.
Remember, no, don't do that.
We're gonna be there. Don't worry. We'll sign us up.
You have to edit this.
Yeah.